I'm gonna try something new, and ideally, at the beginning of every stream, I'm gonna go over something that I know about Yoshimitsu, and then I'll clip it and make it some sort of highlight, and maybe make some sort of YouTube series out of it. We'll see. I'm not making any promises, but we'll see. We'll try it on and see how it goes. So the first thing I want to talk about today, it's on stream in the bottom corner there, Flash. Everybody knows Yoshi has this move. It's a big ass fucking Yoshi move. Everyone's scared of it. Everyone hates it, says it's cheap or doesn't understand it. Hell, a lot of Yoshimitsu players don't understand much about it. So we'll chat a little bit about it. What do I know? And this is anything that I talk about is just things that I think that I know or believe to be correct. Doesn't mean that they are. So with that disclaimer, let's chat about it. So what is it? There's two forms of it. One SS with my sword out. It's the faster version. It's I6. Nah, it's not that cheap, Doug. It's I6. It's mid, short range. I can dash into him and still doesn't hit. It's really bad to whiff. It's like, if you whiff it, you have at least like 30 frames to whiff punish it. On block, it's minus 15, so that's launch punishable. The hitbox is a little wider to the right of Yoshi, so towards his stomach. As you see, it connects there. Won't connect here. Won't connect here, but it will on this side. The NSS version, or No Soch Stance version, has a bigger hitbox, so it'll hit just from standing. It's slower at I8, also mid. This is not a parry, by the way. This is an actual attack. Basically the same thing. It's death on whiff if your opponent can react to it. It's launch on block minus 15. It might be minus 16 now. I can't remember if NSS is worse on block. And the NSS version has a different like aerial hit property where it'll like pop them up in the air, where the 1SS version doesn't really do so in a way that's good to combo off of. You see? So that's something that's different. Some moves that pick up straight can't pick up from different angles. What are you talking about, Doug? Going on. So, we list some properties. It's fast. It's mid. It has a really short range, which is a weakness. It being fast is a strength. And all this comes down to is it's basically an anti-offense move or anti-poke move. What I mean by that is, say you have a character who's messing around, has a lot of like plus on block moves, like Law is a great example with his Hammer of the Gods move. And he has a lot of follow-ups that can cover anything that you might want to do. From where your opponent isn't facing you straight down 2-2. Oh yeah, that's pickup. I'm not worrying about pickup right now. So literally anything a normal character has from this position will get counter hit. But Yoshi also has Flash. So he can contest moves in a lot of areas that other characters can't. And the big thing to note is that it launches. And you can get a full combo off this. And carry, depending on what kind of stage you're in. And in Tekken, that is very good indeed. So, it's quick, it can not really break the rules. It bends the rules of Tekken, where you can contest in a lot of areas that other characters can't. And also nets you a launch, which means this move is really scary, and it means a lot of people are on the lookout for this move. So, some strengths. It's fast, it launches, it's mid, and it's scary. A weakness. It's death to whiff. It's scary, so that means people will be looking out for it. And it's short ranged. So it's something that you can only use in a position where your opponent is doing something that's moving them forward or sticking out a hurt box of their own towards Yoshimitsu. So it's basically a defense move or a counter move. So, that being said, it's also I6, right? If we do some basic math for frame data stuff, I6, you kind of want to match up flash timings with when your opponent may retaliate. So that means things like being at -2, -3, -4 are pretty good for a Yoshimitsu player, because it lines up flash to trade with a good array of moves. Hey, Chris, thank you for the compliment, man. I appreciate that. How you doing? But a little like a pirate. Thanks. I'll take that. Fuck. So, if you can do some math, Yoshi's a character who does excel a little bit more, especially with flash, where if you know what the other character has going against you, frame data wise, and like gameplay wise, flash will be a lot more successful. So if you can line it up where you're -3, -2 is kind of risking it for 1SS flash because it's I6, and if they do something slow, it'll clip you out because the flash hitbox doesn't last very long. Anything when you're -2 to -3, -4, -5 even, and sometimes even -6, because even if you're -6 and you flash, that's still I12 because it's a 6-frame move and you're behind by 6 frames. So add that together to get I12. That's not bad. So it's pretty good. It's pretty good, but it can also kill you. What else? What else? The differences for NSS is that aside from the range increase, that sweet spot of when the frame data matches up for Yoshimitsu also changes. So now, for Yoshimitsu to do something like a down 4, which is -2 on hit, and flash right after that. Let me double check. Yeah, I'm gonna get to that in a little bit, Doug. So I like this strat because Yoshimitsu doesn't have he doesn't have a lot of plus on hit situations. Let me get this next song going. And he's kind of built around flash in general because this is minus on hit. I believe it's -1. So because he's only -1 or -2 on hit, his flash comes out too fast. And because it comes out too fast, it whiffs, and I get a punish for it. Literally because he's too fast. You see that? But if I do the same thing in NSS where the flash takes 2 frames longer, right? Now we're talking. Oh, my bad. You see? Because it's slowed down, that sweet spot of flash changed. And now it's slower, and it lines up better with certain frame disadvantages. So you can do things like down 4 or down back 4 into flash. Yes, that's right. So this doesn't work. That only works because I like move forward. And if you switch to NSS and do this, it's a lot more successful at against a lot of retaliation. It'll beat up jabs, I-12 mids, 15 frame start up down 4-2. This is me doing down 4-2. Yeah, that's right. So that's NSS. The big difference being this, the range increase, the kind of use and combos that you can do with it. And a real big thing that a lot of people don't understand is the fact that my frame sweet spot changes. So I can't, when Yoshi is in NSS, he's more likely to flash you when you're like dashing at him and trying to do something or doing something delayed, rather than you doing something fast, because it's that 2 frame difference makes a really big difference. There are 2 other flashes that Yoshi has, and they're both called Cara flashes. So whether it's just one SS Cara flash or NSS Cara flash, the difference being there are frames slower, but they have slightly better range, because what I'm doing is I'm hitting 4. I hit 4, and so I do a brush stroke. So like I do 4-1, 4-1, while holding down the 4 button. So if you see in the command history, there's a 4 right there. Oh wait, my camera's reversed, so it'll be that there. And that little 4, that neutral 4, that animation moves me forward a little bit, so it gives me increased range. And same thing with NSS, it's slower. And this is used mostly for punishing, as far as I know. And once again, this is just shit that I know, not to mean anything that I'm talking about is correct. He moans after Cara Flash. Yo, I didn't know that. He moans? Oh, maybe it's because he's doing the 4 button. That's interesting. I never realized that. I learned something new today. But the main thing and use for Cara Flash is for block punishing. And this is something that Duck alluded to earlier, and it's something that reconnects back into what I said about Yoshi really taking advantage of knowing the matchup against whatever character you're playing against. He can block punish things that other characters can't block punish, and this should be pretty well known, but I'll say it just for the sake of saying it. He can block punish things that other characters can't block punish, or launch things that other characters can't launch, because in Tekken, when you're minus whatever frame data, it just means that like you have this many frames until you can take another action again. While not necessarily always meaning you can't, it'll take that long until you can block again, because there are certain things like ballerina stuns that you're like minus 15 or something, 14, but you can still block while you're spinning. You cannot buffer, Chris. So, what was I saying?
Y'all won't be laughing when y'all bang.
Whoa. Hey, I1800. Thanks for the follow, man. Welcome. You interested in Yoshi? So, man, since Flash is a lot There's a lot of flash than I expected. Like, all the shit just kind of flies in my head. So, when I say it out loud, it takes a lot longer to put into words. Ooh, I love this song. So, if there's a character with a move that is typically safe on block, like Josie, for example, I think it was her forward 4. And when iMusician showed me this shit, I fucking flipped out because I hate this move. Yoshi trash. So this move is safe. I believe it's like -9 or -8 at least. So a lot of the fastest move for most characters is I-10. Like 80-90% of the cast is the fastest move they have. And this is a great example of, if you know your matchup, Flash doesn't hit this, even though it's fast enough to hit it. So if I switch to NSS stance, which increases my range, I can not only punish her for this safe mid, I can launch her ass for it. Which is fly as hell. Yeah? So, let's see what we got so far. You can view it as a counter move basically, but honestly, it's an attack move. So you're interrupting someone with a really fast short range move. And it's good in a defensive position or when you think your opponent is going to retaliate in general. So either they're continuing their offensive pressure, like dashing at you, like doing all this stuff, like doing mix-ups and whatnot. It's good in those positions, and good when you, as Yoshi, just did something on block or on hit that's minus and your opponent knows, but you know that they're gonna push a fucking button. So you flash them. Yeah, I know, a lot of people think this is unblockable, which is stupid. just to show you guys. Ooh, let's see if I can. Yep, there we go. So, now this is a great example of something that'll happen to a lot of Yoshi players if the other person is really aware of Flash. I'm holding back. That's all it takes. That's all it takes. It's just a little bit of a pause in their offense to fuck you up. So it's something you have to keep in mind. But what you can do as a Yoshi player, so the common way of using this is anti-pressure or anti-retaliation or anti-like get-in moves. Because if she dashes forward, I can flash her for it. So that's basic use. Another thing you can do is after you're showing that you're willing to use Flash and your opponent starts being careful of it in certain situations, when that situation eventually comes around again, instead of actually doing it, let me change the song. Instead of actually flashing, you take your turn. Because you read that they're gonna give you that space and you can hit them. If you want to go really crazy, you can go for the timing read, which is basically they're gonna look for the flash and do a move at a specific timing. And even though they're blocking, you can get the counter hit. They dash, you read it, and you win. And there are setups and things like that you can do with flash, but I'll leave that for another time. So that's a bit more of an advanced tactic. We got simple ones being of anti-retaliation, block punishing, although the block punishing thing is a bit more advanced in my opinion because it requires you to know some shit. So basic being anti-retaliation, anti-pressure, anti-get-in stuff. Intermediate / advanced way of using flash as a block punish, as a way to steal turns and do something else aside from flash because they're going to be looking for it. Small little tip is since the flash hitbox is bigger on Yoshi's right side, you can do things like sidestep flash, sidestep left flash specifically, because it'll leave the opponent closer to that open hitbox side. So if Josie just dashes at me, I can flash her sometimes if I really get her like right at the beginning of the forward dash animation. But it's easier to get her if I sidestep left, because it gets her closer to that hitbox. This is the most clear against someone like King. iMusician does this a lot against King's forward 1. There's a specific range where forward 1 before the elbow comes out, Jigglypuff rest. Kinda. There's a certain range before forward 1 comes out that you can hit him with this. And see how much forward momentum he has? It makes flash a little easier to get. And if you sidestep left, it makes it a lot more successful too. Forward 1 flash. Nope, it's -5 on block, which makes it really fucking good, by the way. Forward 1 is fucking -5 on block, which is crazy. It would be awesome if it was -6. That would be wild. Because I think almost assuredly it leaves him close enough. Actually, let me make him block after that. No, I think it would need to be -8. Yeah, because even Cara Flash isn't getting him. Maybe if I sidestep left a little bit. Nah. It needs to be NSS. So it would need to be -8 for me to get that. Let's see. So, in conclusion, it's a good counter move, anti-pressure, anti-get-in, anti-retaliation in general. Advanced uses are as block punishment when you know the frames, and using it as a threat tool and showing it beforehand, and taking it and stealing a turn where you're typically, most characters would not get a free turn. And by turn, I use that quote, that term really loosely, because Tekken isn't like math. Like, it doesn't all just like add up. Like, things will get sloppy and shit will happen that shouldn't happen, and it's just the term turn is just when we're at like a heavy disadvantage and most people won't mash a button. And if you do, you're crazy. Or you're Yoshimitsu and you can flash motherfuckers. So when they hold back from that flash, you can either go for the timing read if they're not really like sharp players and they're not looking for flash, they're just flow charting for flash. And what I mean by that is they'll forward dash and back dash and just carry on as if you already did flash, whether or not you did it or not. Whereas good players will forward dash, back dash, and actually confirm whether or not you flashed or not before they choose their next option. So, in that case, it's better to go for something like a low poke or to dash in their face and like lock them down somehow. Full crouch down for a 1-2 flash combo. Oh, where you like forward dash into flash? Nah, dude, that shit's fucking wild. You have to be so quick on that. So, it's a quick move. It's terrible to whiff. It's really short, but it's really fucking fast. It has a really big reward if it works. So it's scary in both a good and a bad way, meaning your opponent's gonna know about it, and they're either gonna look out for it in a bad way, where it gives you a free turn, or they'll look out for it in a good way for them, where you flash, and since they're aware of it, they'll keep that in mind and whiff punish your ass for it. Yeah. Oh yeah, also back turn flash is a thing. But it's not too useful, in my opinion, outside of specific matchup things. Which brings me to that other point about Yoshi really excelling, with Flash in general really excelling when you know the matchup. I think specifically, I think I will have to be Law for this. You can do shit like back turn Flash shenanigans, which is fucking wild, but in the one character I know for sure that this is a decent strat to use against is Law, because he has, I think it's back 4. Oops. Yeah, back 4. So it's a mid homing move, and it's good against Yoshi back turn shenanigans because it's fast enough to hit his hit him out of a lot of his options and his spin. So what he can do instead is you can flash him with back turn flash, and you can get a combo off this. And Just Frame James taught me this, so shout out to JFJ. And this will fucking work like 1000% of the time. That's just wild. So I would only ever do back turn flash if you know for sure it's going to work, or it's a specific matchup thing to do. And feeding into that, there are certain characters where flash really fucks people up, or NSS flash specifically will really fuck somebody up because of the way their moves work. Yoshi in general isn't good against, well, Flash in general isn't good against Mishimas, at least 1SS, because a lot of Mishima moves, like Electric for example, the Electric leaves their body back while extending their fist forward. So it's not good. And they have a lot of moves like that, like Demon Steel Pedal, which like extends a hitbox forward, but they stay back. But for Lily, that's not the case. So her hop kick, I believe it's -13. Yep, it is. Not launch. And one SS flash can't hit it. But what you can do is Cara flash. And if you really want to make it really consistent, NSS flash almost every time. Like even with some distance, it still fucking clips her. And what's another move of hers that she likes to use? Nope. What's that like flip move, guys? There we go. 4-3 + 4. No, that's not it. What's her flip move that launches people? Punch. Down 4, 3 plus 4. There we go. Thank you, Joe. Thank you, thank you. Boom. Oh man, that feels fucking good. I main Lily now. And I think that's almost everything I know about Flash. At least that comes to mind off the top of my head. It can be used as combo filler, block punishing, turn stealing because it's really fucking scary. It excels close up when your opponent is gonna press a button or do something that gives them forward momentum, like a forward dash. It has a greater range to the right of Yoshi, so you can sidestep Flash. You can back turn Flash in specific scenarios. And specifically NSS Flash and Flash can really fuck with certain matchups. Because it lets you kill shit that you shouldn't typically be able to kill. Did I forget anything, guys? What if I just dropped Paul and Negan and became a waifu warrior? I'd probably be worse at this game if I did that, not gonna lie. It's while standing, so you can do it from crouch. What's while standing? Oh yeah! I forgot about while standing Flash. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Oh my god, I totally almost forgot about that shit. Thank you, Chris. Woo, that would have been bad if I forgot that shit. Okay, okay. So, this is also a bit more advanced. But because Yoshi also has access to Flash while standing, he can use that as a punish. This is really good against Harong because a lot of his moves in the Flamingo stance are like highs that you can duck, but he has like follow-ups that can interrupt while standing punishes. So you can't get something really beefy like a while standing 2-1 unless you're really good and sharp or you know exactly what's gonna happen next. So, but what Yoshi can do is he can whiff punish things that are typically really hard to whiff punish. Like, if I want to whiff punish, I'll catch you in a bit, Joe. If I want to optimally whiff punish a jab, even though I know it's coming, I have to be like super, super quick about this shit. But if I have Flash, I can even react to it if I wanted to. Now, this is something that's not well known, is that NSS Flash is actually pretty good for whiff punishing should you sidestep something. You see that? So, if I do like a full sidestep, even a down forward 1 won't punish his jab on whiff. I have to do something like a really mini sidestep, like literally just like a twitch, right? To punish the jab on whiff. But that leaves me open to getting hit by shit like hop kick follow-ups or down forward 1 follow-ups or a low poke or something like that. I mean, low pokes should typically track both ways or one way or another. But what NSS allows you to do, I'm doing a full-on sidestep, So no matter whether she did a jab or a version of a down forward 1, I can whiff launch punish her for this, which is wild on reaction because of how fast Flash is. And the same works for whatchamacallit, ducking, things like that as well. So and this is something that we'll go over later, but a move that synergizes really well with Flash is Kin parry. Kin parry, which we'll go over later, and down 4, because if you're gonna steal a turn against a good player who's not gonna just randomly like flowchart and assume that you're gonna flash at a specific moment and throw out a move at a really predictable timing, they're gonna probably hold back or they're gonna sidestep block, which down 4 catches both ways. And if you really want to get saucy with it, you can tip down 4 this, which makes it safe on hit or on block. All right, guys, that's all I'm talking about for